Шановні пані та панове,
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings all the participants, dear colleagues. We greet you on our international seminar, and this seminar is specially devoted to the quality management, common assessment framework, and it's the best practices. And I am glad that we have this opportunity to discuss all the practical steps, how to use this, and also how to understand the activity of the state authorities management system. And also we have the opportunity to get the international experience of quality management. And also we would like to talk about the CAF system. So, dear participants, you have the program, and according with this program, you will get the schedule and the timing. So we'll kindly ask you to pay your attention because we have a few interpretation during the event. And in order to use such an option, please, in your meeting webinar controls, click interpretation, then choose the language that you would like to hear, or English or Polish or Ukrainian. And I would like to come back to my greetings part, and I would like to say a few words about the reform of the state management system. The reform of the state management system is in Ukraine now, and it's focused on set up the professional. It resulted in a very efficient system of the management of the state authorities. And as for the Sigma program, the activity of the state service management system, should based on the results, orientation to the best results, fact and risks assessment, partnership, involvement of the employees on the motivation and implementation of the development of the procedures. So, dear colleagues, as the international experience proves, and we analyzed it. So the efficient instrument of the development of the management and improvement of the management is the quality control management. So 2017, we got some recommendations after the evaluation of Sigma. And according of these recommendations, since 2019, we are following the CAF assessment, and especially Ukraine as the agency node. So we got the very special position of so as for the standards of this European Union, we got the national status of the National Resource Center of CAF. And it's possible because of the support of the European institution for state management and Austrian Institute of State Management. So, and on behalf of NATO, on behalf of the Cabinet of Ministers, I would like to express special thanks for cooperation, for wild support to use the European experience of state management and quality state management system. And also we have the challenges. It's the evaluation of this quality assessment system and the understanding of the key indicators of resultative practices. And especially those who just, are on the position of the state secretary of the different ministers. And in this very context, for us, it's extremely important to expand on maximum level the international experience, and especially all that experts' experience of art, etc. So, dear colleagues, I hope that our today's event will become the ideal platform to improve the professional competencies as for the model CAF 2020 and as for the practical steps of implementation of the quality management system. So, well, and I hope that it will improve the system on the increase of the efficiency, and for the medium and long term and also as for the strategic management and resultative orientations, also it's important for the state authorities. And also it's very important to use the best international experiences. So first of all, it's the general quality management and CAF models implementation. So dear colleagues, I wish to all of you to have fruitful work, and I would like to invite Benjamin Ababa, our regional representative of Hans Seidel Fund in Republic of Moldova and Romania. And because of the support and because of the Hans Seidel support fund, so well, we got the manuals on this issue, on improvement of the resultative the targets. And also we developed the online course for the self-governance needs, and also to use in the model of general model of the common assessment framework. And for right now, we ask Mr. Bobby to say a few words.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Mrs. Alyushina, dear colleague, my capacity of public authorities to fulfill it always more complex and demanding tasks is a key factor to countries' economic, political, and social development. To ensure Ukraine's and other countries' competitiveness on the long run, new quality of public administration and civil service must be created. This is not a singular incident, but a permanent and ongoing process. In order to improve the system of public administration, most countries have implemented public administration reforms, one of the results of which is the category of quality, as it is a key indicator. The quality of public services goes hand in hand with the quality of governance, economic development, and the quality of the life of the citizens. That's why meeting the highest quality standards is a key issue for the legitimacy of a country's public administration and in consequence, the democracy as a whole. So today's conference is one more step towards our common goal of improving efficiency and in particular the quality of management in the field of public administration and local self-government by applying the common assessment framework to CAF. National Agency of Ukraine on Civil Service is leading and advancing in this issue, and we are very happy to contribute to this common strategic goal. We are particularly happy with the great interest of public servants in the new online course on the basics of CAF methodology for Ukrainian authorities, which opened just 1 month ago. And at the end of April, there were already more than 1,200 users, including more than 800 who got certificates on passing the course. That's a great success. With respect to today's conference, many thanks to the international experts for sharing their knowledge and experience. I wish you all the best of results in the context of this important conference on the Ukrainian and the international experiences. Thank you very much indeed.
Я в свою чергу теж дякую.
In my turn, I would like to thank you, Benjamin. And now, colleagues, I would like to offer to switch to our first part, topical issues of introduction of a system of quality management in Ukraine. And in detail, I would like us to talk about relevant issues of introduction of a quality management system in Ukraine. And I would like to invite Yulia Likhach, our first Deputy Chief of the Center of Adaptation of European Standards to Ukraine. And since 2019, the Center of Adaptation of European Standards is as a Ukrainian CAF Resource Center, as I said before, and selected staff as have the correspondent status. And the center facilitates the introduction of new standards in the work of high execution authorities and local self-governments on the basis of the best world practice. I would like to underline that the center has substantial experience of introduction of a quality management system in Ukraine, namely ISO 9001 and CAF already. Yulia, please. Thank you, Natalia, and good morning, dear colleagues. Very happy to see you and to see your active participants in the introduction of a quality management system, and I would like to thank our foreign colleagues and our Ukrainian colleagues. We feel every day the support from international experts, and we asked them for the last 2 years about spreading of the best, as Natalia was saying, the practices and experiences. And for 2 last years, we are very closely working with public administration authorities, and we hope that shortly we will be capable to introduce the system of quality management. So the topic is very relevant because the introduction of quality management in European countries is a part of management reform on the national level, and in the strategy it is said that a quality management system should be introduced, which shows how the public authorities are working perfectly. What should be introduced, improved, and to make a public servants to work in motivated way. So my today's presentation will be devoted to the Ukrainian experience, really in the last 2 years. And thank you, Natalia, that you estimate us, because we are at the beginning of this work, and comparing to European countries, we are at the first step. And before my presentation, I would like to say that 2019, on the 20th of August in Helsinki, between the ministers of European Union, they adopted as a new members of contact group, and Ukraine received a status of observer in the working group, and this status of observant helps to improve the introduction of the reform in the public service sphere, and allows us to study foreign resources and introduces the European models of quality management system. And during this meeting, the Adaptation Center received the national CAF Resource Center, and as Natalia said, we received the status of correspondence. As for National Resource CAF Center, includes coordination of self-government organization and certification, trainings and consultations, participants in feedback on CAF and forums and conferences and discussions, including the experience on the introduction and the use of CAF model, support inside the European network of national correspondence CAF, cooperation with European Resource Centers and the Institute of State Public Administration, support and participation in the work of European network of national correspondents of CAF and users of CAF in the state sector. Besides the staff of the center, they took part already in several such international events, so they are so actively working with European Union cooperation with European Resource Center and national resource centers in different countries, research and publications on practices and international and national experience. As it should be said that the introduction of a quality management system is one of the priorities of the development within the state service improvement and reform of state service supported by Sigma program. When in the 2018 Sigma evaluated the situation of public service in Ukraine, there was a report, and their experts provided proposals and recommendations on improvement of public service system and on quality management system introduction of tools and feedbacks from users of public services. We should say that the Sigma program, according to which the strategy of public service reform was developed, one of the elements to supply state management improvement was the CAF assessment system. So we understood that the CAF assessment framework was quite difficult and long-term process to introduce it, so that we didn't have this national contact service status. So in 2019 we made such initial survey of system of quality management, and we used the 2013, and out of 9 criteria we took only 5: leadership, staff, processes, partnership and strategic planning. We developed methodologies. We supported this research in all ministries and public authorities, and we have to say that 66 public authorities took part, among them 19 ministries and 48 other central executive authorities. We can show you such a result of this survey, and because they showed quite short and very interesting. And we have on the website such a section where you can find all materials, so you can find them. And if we speak about the results of this research, so in general, the quality management system in all executive authorities got a good grade. So we can say that these grades in the ministries and according to the system are different, and because the staff in the ministries, they evaluated themselves a bit higher. So by the leadership we see that 112 grades the ministries evaluated themselves, but the system evaluated them but with 101. Also strategic planning, the ministries evaluated themselves 82 grades, and the quality management staff evaluated them with a 75. A bit lower grade was staff or personnel criteria 63 and 58. One criteria partnership and resources 78 from the ministries, and 68 accordingly from central authorities, and the lowest results were in the criterion processes 61 and 53. So we were supporting closely very much the ministries and the central authorities. Lots of questions they had on this phase, and when this year we were introducing the full-scale evaluation, that is why we decided to split in several phases. Why we had this online course and international survey as well, because the introduction of evaluation is a very long-lasting period, and people should have competencies, and we support them in getting this knowledge. And we should say that in 2019, within the quality assessment process, we had the international seminar within TAEX framework, and it was held by a national agency. All representatives of national authorities involved in the research were there, and we had representatives from 3 countries, from Belgium, Italy, and Austria, who already who were participating in the event for 3 days, and they were explaining what is a CAF system and how to introduce it. And our servants always were doing this assessment in the last year, and they asked us lots of questions, and we now explain to them that this year this evaluation will be more thorough. And we would say that this year the legislative support of introduction of a quality management system is supported by several documents. Namely, we created last year 4 recommendations on the introduction of quality management system. It is completely compatible with CAF 2020, the new methodology. It was completely adopted to Ukrainian legislation, and methodology 2020 was translated into Ukrainian and was adopted. Also, there were instructions on introduction of a quality system to in the work of those who are state secretaries, and we hope that the leadership of A category state servants who support and monitor the introduction of this research in the central authorities, and we understand with their full understanding and support as a working group members will be performing much more easier, and very model document that typical tasks of introduction of quality systems of state servants inside the state executive authorities. And we should mention also that at the beginning of the year we analyzed the needs on training of members of working group, and according to the needs we saw the needs from 61 executive authority, and it was 572 state servants who were planning to organize with us to run this survey. Out of them, 25 were A category state servants. So we receive constantly these requests, and almost every day we had several people to this list who tell us that they wanted to be involved in this process. I would like to tell you in which way we organize the trainings to let our foreign colleagues to understand how we do it in Ukraine, and to mention once again from central authority servants how we help them. First phase, we said already, we developed 2 training programs approved by experts of a consultative council on the training of the higher civil servants for category A civil servants, which will last longer, and also for category B and C. These materials you can find on the portal. It is an open access, and as for the programs, we envisage 3 phases of training. First is online course, and the next phase is today's international seminar, where we can get the international experience to introduce CAF. And the third phase will be in the working groups on introduction of methodology recommendations. We plan to run this phase since the Monday, 18th May, So you see, it is mentioned since the 1st of June, but we found a new group, and they need to develop the public authority, and so we wanted to start early and to finish early these phases. So as I said, we created this online course with the Hans Seidel course altogether, and they very, very on demand. And today we have
2000 осіб зареєстровані на цьому курсі.
So, well, registered more than 2,000 officials. So we would like to express special thanks for funds named by Hans Seidel. Thank you so much, because we got such a live interest towards our activity. And this online course has a lots of great materials and lots of legal library. And also, we even previously, we developed the manuals on this quality assessment framework CAF together with them. And you can get all this information on our web portal, how to implement the best experiences and practices. And I would like to express special thanks to all the participants, especially our partners, for supporting, for helping us. And we hope the next week we will meet with the leaders of the working groups to discuss everything together. And I will be very glad to see you there. So thank you, Mrs. Julia. It's true. It's our victories, small victories. So thank you for your victory. Thank you for the Center for Adaptation. And we are moving on, and the next presenter would be the representatives of the Austrian Center. They will be the expert project leader and consultant of the European Institute of Public Administration and CAF Resources. It's Austrian CAF Center, project leader and senior consultant of the Austrian Center for Public Administration, Philip Parzer. And so, well, that's a very interesting idea from the local policy, from the federalists' ideas, etc. This center is offering this specific experience in the individual concept, management, state management for the public organizations, and a lot of other things since 1969. And during its experience, they are using the very modern instruments, and they use the new scientific method. So, well, this center is also taking a lot of attentions to the transmission of the nice knowledge to the national experts, etc. So they implemented and expanded the international contacts, etc. And right now I would like to invite Mr. Philip. The floor is yours, please.
Yeah, hello to everybody.
Доброго дня всім.
Ms. Alyushina and the
Дуже
National Agency of
дякую.
Ukraine and Civil Service for having me here, for inviting the Austrian CAF Center to give a speech, a presentation on the topic of how to set up a CAF Center. Yeah? I'm really impressed about the high number of participants. We are at nearly 100 participants here in the room, and I'm really happy also about this possibility to share experience, to learn on how you in Ukraine already established the CAF. It's really impressive to see Ms. Likash. I followed your presentation. There is much of topics are running concerning the CAF, and I always love to hear and see this, because this shows that CAF is also a big issue in the Ukraine. Let me start my presentation for today. I prepared a short presentation on the topic of, just a moment. Now you should see it. Yeah, on the Austrian CAF Center. Yeah. Let me say a few words about KDZ, about our office. Ms. Alyushina, you already mentioned, we are active since 1969. We are active since 50 years in supporting public administrations in three main topics, yeah, in the field of research, in the field of training and consulting activities. Yeah. We are a non-profit association, yeah, and we have a governing board consisting of the Federal Chancellery in Austria and the Austrian Association of Cities and Towns in Vienna. And we are a small company, yeah, small. We are 25 employees, yeah. But the specific of our company is that we are not only working in Austria, but we are mainly also active on an international level, yeah, and the European level. And this is the specific thing. We are quite active in the field of implementing quality management systems, yeah. And in this field, we are really working intensively with the CAF model, yeah, with the Common Assessment Framework. And this is, I tried to make a kind of historical span overview about how we got the baby born. Let me say it like this. Yeah. In 1998, during the first Austrian EU presidency, there was the decision by the Austrian Federal Chancellery to establish a kind of CAF Center, an organization who supports public administrations in delivering quality management systems. Yeah. At this stage, this was not only linked to the CAF, yeah, it was also linked to other QM tools. But in 2000, there was the decision to set up a CAF Center. Yeah. The decision was made by the Federal Chancellery, and they nominated us, KDZ, to be a kind of resource center for Austria. And maybe this is also interesting for you. We have a kind of I would not say contract, but service agreement. Yeah? So on a yearly basis, that the Federal Chancellery comes to us and says, okay, we are interested in this and those activities, and we deliver this for the ministry. Yeah? But the main topic and the main issue, how we are financed in the CAF Center, is that we deliver CAF projects. We make CAF implementation. We do CAF training, CAF programs in Austria for different public administration and also abroad. Yeah? And this is, let me say it like this, for us, CAF, and you already mentioned this before, CAF is the European guideline for better quality and governance in public administrations. And let me say it like this is also a kind of our vision. Yeah? We saw in our CAF project that the CAF standard and the CAF guideline is not only limited or applicable to European public administrations, but for all, and this is, let me say it like this, also a kind of our vision, that CAF is also applicable worldwide, yeah, for all public sector institutions in the world. Yeah? And we see this in the standard, we see this in the new CAF 2020 model. When you have a look in this new update, in this new guideline, you will see that the new CAF 2020 is very much focusing on those big issues now, on the question of how to innovate, how to make sustainable, build up sustainable organizational structures, how to use the digitalization for delivering better services. Yeah? And this is a kind, for us, this is a kind of a really strong instrument to bring public administrations forward. Yeah, maybe you know this picture or this feeling maybe when you announce change programs in your public administration. Yeah. When we ask the employees when it comes to change, everybody raises the hand and say, yeah, we have to change the processes, we have to change the structures, we have to deliver better services for the citizens and so on. But when it comes to the questions, who wants to change, the head, not mostly, but sometimes go down. Yeah? And this is the issue. Yeah? CAF is change management. And when we want to change structures, yeah, we also have to come to the decision that we also have to jump into behavioral changes. Yeah? And for me, when implementing CAF, and we see this in the CAF method, yeah? When implementing the CAF, we are, during the self-assessment, we are not only discussing on what has to be changed, but we also discuss how this has to be changed. And this is a kind of behavioral change, and CAF manages this link. So with this link, this tool becomes really, really powerful when you really want to get things done and change, let change come into the doors of your public administrations. Yeah, this is the picture of the CAF Center of Kdz. Yeah, you see here, we are, our strategic partner is the Federal Chancellery of Austria. This is the Ministry of Public Administration, Austria, and they define the CAF strategy. Yeah, for us, they have the overall responsibility, and they nominated the CAF Center of Kdz to implement the strategy. We are a kind of, let me say, operational partner. Yeah? And we are mainly active in these four fields of actions. This is in the field of CAF Network, yeah? In the field of CAF Training, in delivering effective CAF user services, and in also supporting CAF implementation in public administrations. I will come into more detail in those four topics, what is behind. Yeah? So this is the overall picture of how the CAF Center of Kdz is working. Here, and this is the picture of our CAF landscape. Yeah, we have, and this is also a duty of the CAF Center of Kdz to have a CAF database. So we have now, we have 250 CAF users in this database. So 250 public administrations in Austria are active in the field of CAF. Yeah, and these are specifically public administrations on the federal level. For example, the Ministry of Finance in Austria, yeah, is using the CAF. We have about 22% and on the field on the province level. Yeah, you know, Austria consists of 9 provinces. Yeah, and three provinces in Austria, province administrations in Austria are using the CAF regularly. And we also see a slight number, but constantly growing number in the area of cities and municipalities, yeah, who plan or already are in implementing the CAF. This is also an issue when we talk about the CAF network. You know, network, it's a kind of, we are here now, you have invited a lot of participants to discuss about the CAF and hear international experiences. And this is also a task what we in Austria do. Yeah? We try to bring all those interested persons together. And one of these actions is the website CAF Network EU. Yeah? Maybe you have time, you can check this afterwards. This is a really new knowledge platform for CAF users worldwide. And we have now about, I had a look before, about 160 entries about CAF cases. So you can see when you go on the website, and you see it here on the screenshot on this card, where CAF is active. Yeah? So we offer inspiring practices in implementing the CAF via this website. We offer documents, yeah, guidelines, studies, articles, and also videos. Yeah? So I just want to invite you, just have a look at this website. And this is an open website. Yeah? So I would really love to see when we also have Ukraine cases here on the website. You just can register here and put in your CAF cases. Yeah, also an activity from us is to make CAF conferences. Yeah? Like you do now. We had our last CAF conference in February this year, the CAF Con 21. Maybe some of you could participate in this international conference. We were really impressed because we could bring together 587 participants from 50 countries, yeah, in this online conference. This was a conference lasting for a whole day, yeah, and we presented our new CAF book. I will also have a slide afterwards on this. We published a book on the new CAF 2020, and this was also a great activity to bring all those international experiences together. Yeah, you see it here. This is our new publication. Just that you can see, maybe some of you already know this book. This is really new. In this book, about 30 authors are sharing their experiences and how they have implemented the CAF in their organizations. And we also show in this book the state of the art of how the CAF is contributing to public administration reform. Yeah? It was also interesting in the book to see the different institutional status of the CAF in Europe. Not all European countries have a CAF center. Yeah? A lot of countries in the European Union are financed with some funds to make CAF programs, CAF activities, but not all countries have a kind of CAF center. Yeah? And we also pointed out in these books the necessary steps for further strengthening the CAF. Yeah? There is much to do to make CAF great, yeah? And we are convinced about this because CAF is a really for us, a driver for public administration reform, and there we have to combine our strength of all the countries to make CAF great. Yeah, and we also show in the book that CAF initiates and accompanies the transformation of public administration. We have in the book 30 CAF cases from Cabo Verde, yeah, to the Western Balkan countries. A lot of European countries have contributed to the book, and I just can invite you to have a look into this, into this new publication. The CAF Center of Kdz is also active in the field of CAF Network. This means that we provide relevant documents in German for Austrian CAF users. We do CAF surveys, CAF studies, of course, CAF public relations. We have these monthly CAF newsletters, and so on. Yeah, maybe this is also a really a new initiative we introduced together with our partners from RESPA, the Regional School of Public Administrations. We delivered from February to April this year a specialized EFAC training, yeah? A training for professional external CAF feedback experts in the Western Balkan countries, namely for Bosnia, Croatia, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Slovenia, and offer the course how to make a CAF assessment. Yeah? And this is also an issue for CAF centers in our view, if you want to upgrade the activities or make sustainable CAF structures in the country to offer those CAF trainings, EFAC trainings, yeah, in order to get a network of professional CAF feedback experts of those persons who at the end go into the organization and make the evaluation. We in Kdz also offer the CAF training. What does this mean? We have seminars for CAF beginners. We have seminars for on the CAF model itself, on the novelties of CAF 2020. We also organize workshops to bring CAF users together. This is a really, let me say like this, a powerful driver to show examples, to show other organizations that CAF is working. Yeah? So we are also organizing this in Kdz, that we bring CAF users together with interested organizations, and then they hear from first hand what could be achieved with implementing the CAF. Another task of the Austrian CAF Center is to organize the effective CAF user. This means that organizations who wants to apply for the CAF label, they can apply at Kdz. Yeah? We are responsible for the whole process, which means that we assist and organize the full CAF external feedback process. And we have also established in Austria, in order to deliver this process, a network of CAF external feedback experts. These are now about 15 quality management experts from different public administrations in Austria, who are really in the topic, who have already implemented the CAF, and who are responsible for setting up a quality management system in the organization. And out of the pool of these 15 CAF feedback experts, we decide to go into the organization who applies for the CAF label, and then they make an on-site evaluation. This is the overall process. The fourth topic we are working for is to assist and organize and deliver CAF implementations in organizations. I don't want to go into detail into this program because you already know this is our picture when we talk about CAF implementation. We have to start the CAF program, project assignment, start workshop, communication plan, and so on. We support public organizations in doing the self-assessment, from the training to the individual assessment and delivering the consensus workshop. And we are also then at the end when it comes to the action plan. I pointed out this slide because maybe this is also interesting. This was a recent project from us, which in the last 2 years, together with our partner, with RESPA, the Regional School of Public Administration, we had a project in the Basic 2 program where we focused on how to strengthen the CAF structures in the Western Balkan countries. And during this project, we delivered 15 CAF pilots in the region, namely in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, Albania, Kosovo, and North Macedonia. And this was a kind of mentoring approach. And this was really interesting for us to see, because with this approach, we could really set up together with the CAF experts in the countries, in the Western Balkan countries, we could set up sustainable CAF structures. This was working in such a way that we made those CAF pilots together. So experts from KDZ together with experts, CAF experts, quality management experts from the Western Balkan countries, we worked together on implementing the CAF. And so we could learn from each other. We could share knowledge, we could share documents, and this was a win-win for all of those countries involved in this project. And yeah, we are really happy about this cooperation, and we see that things move forward there in those countries. Another service from us is the CAF Online Tool. I can really recommend to those of you who are implementing CAF in organization to develop a kind of CAF online system. This is an online tool. You can also have a look at our website, CAF Center EU. There is a demo version on it. This is an online system where the participants of the self-assessment group can put in their answers via website, and those answers then will be transferred anonymously to the moderators. So it's really time saving, because just imagine when you have a group with 20, 25 members, you have a big kind of paper and a lot of answers, and this online system supports you and supports the moderators and the organizations implementing CAF in structuring all those answers. This is also a service we are offering at the CAF Center. Yeah, to come to an end, this is a picture where I tried to put all those, in our view, the success factors of a CAF Center. And for us, those 4 points are relevant, where we say to become a successful CAF Center. At the beginning, for us, it is important to find allies, to build a CAF community, to bring all those quality managers, consultants, academia, all those people interested in the topic of quality management together, as a first step. As a second step is also to put in CAF, the CAF strategy, into the national strategy, in the public administration reform strategy. This is a really crucial issue. Without this political commitment and without this strategy, CAF will not survive. Second, be aware of change. Yeah, CAF is for us, it's not only about quality management, it's also about change management. Yeah, and when organizations decide to use the CAF, they also have to come to the decision that they want to change something. Yeah, and this change will be supported by the CAF European guideline. Yeah, the CAF 2020 is now a guideline for many public sector organizations who want to adapt, who want to become better on the basis of those European standards. Convince, yeah, don't force organization or people doing CAF, yeah, convince them, yeah, show them the success, the results of organizations who already implemented the CAF. I can really say this is the most powerful thing you can do as a CAF center, to bring organizations together, 2-3 organizations who successfully implemented the CAF, to show from the first hand to other organizations what they achieved with the CAF. This is a really powerful thing, and this is about convincing. Yeah? And with the result that more and more organizations will then become interested in implementing the CAF. And be practical. Yeah. We in Austria, we really try to adapt the CAF system and the CAF model to the specific requirements of the organization. Yeah. In my view, you can do CAF really bureaucratically, but you can also do CAF really hands-on. Yeah. And this should be the approach. Yeah. So use existing structures, adapt the CAF questionnaire. Yeah. Don't just work with the original CAF 2020 version. It's a good version, of course, yeah, but we have to translate it into the language and into the challenges of the organizations. Yeah. This is really a topic we really recommend all organizations to make the CAF really practical. Yeah, that's it. Just to see, I don't want to go into detail in order to set up sustainable CAF structures and also a CAF center, it's always a question of financing. Yeah? And for this reason, we offer those 4 CAF services. This is CAF Free, CAF Starter, CAF Compact, and CAF Plus. Yeah? When you're interested how we do this and what is behind those services, just contact me. I can show you more on these things. But for us, it is really important that CAF centers show to the public organizations in the country, we are offering services. Yeah, we support you in delivering the CAF, and these are the let me say, these are our CAF services. How we do this in Austria, not just on site. We also do CAF remotely. We are online workshops. Yeah, this is also no problem. COVID forced us to do this, and now we are really happy, not always happy, because I'm also like to be on site. Yeah, but yeah, this was the way it was working now, and it will be maybe also in the future that we say, okay, we make the CAF training online and then go to the workshop on site. But that's it. So we have to be flexible. Yeah, that's it. So at the end, change it, CAF it. I'm really happy if you decide to go further, to proceed on your CAF way. And CAF is a good game, is a change game. And yeah, thank you very much for having me here today at this conference. And yeah, if you want to learn more about the Austrian CAF Center, please feel free to contact me. You have my contact details. And if you want, I can also share my presentation afterwards to you to distribute it to the participants. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Пане Парзер, скажу від себе, і я впевнена, що всі зараз поділяють мою
Mr.
думку.
Panzer, I would say from my side, so it's so inspiring, your speech. Everyone shares my opinion, and we are value very much your readiness to share, because we have a big interest from our side, and what is impressive that it is your maybe a manifest. CAF is your personal manifest. That is, I do not exclude that in a short time, National Academy will contact you and think we will continue to cooperate with you, and we value very much your readiness to share your practices and your achievements and spread the best practices because for this we are here all to do this, and that's how we will improve ourselves and our efficiency will grow. And now I come to our next speaker, who is also ready to present the experience on the introduction of a quality management system in the public sector. And I would like to join as a word the expert project leader and the consultant of the European Institute of Public Administration, EIAPA, and the head of European CAF Resource Center, Gracia Vara Ribas. So this is the
передового досвіду.
European Center, which is the leading center in Europe on new challenges to public administration. And we know that the main mission of this institute is to provide a deep knowledge and practical understanding of the policy of European Union to all professionals who are connected to state actions of the European Union. And the main task of further improvement of skills for efficient management. This is the confirmation of your work. So I give the word now to Mrs. Gracia, and also we are waiting for your presentation and your speech. Welcome.
Так,
Вікторія Олександрівна, я так розумію, що
So, Natalia, as I understand, the representative of AIPA, is you presented, cannot connect it because of the technical drawback. So we have Fabricio Rossi, who also represents AIPA.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Fabricio Rossi. Can everybody hear me? I will take it as a yes. I hope you can all hear me. Thank you very much. I will just first of all, well, let me just introduce myself. My name is Fabricio Rossi, and I am the CAF desk officer at AIPA at the European CAF Resource Center. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I was involved in the revision of the CAF 2020 alongside our colleague and our colleague Philip that you just heard from. Thank you very much. I will just now share my screen. I hope you can all see my presentation. I am not sure if you can. Oops, perhaps the screen share has stopped. Let me just try again. We'll try with the PDF. It normally works better. Okay, I hope you can all see my presentation perfectly. So as I said, my name is Fabricio Rossi, and I come from the European Institute of Public Administration. We are a learning and development consultancy and research organization which has a board of governors made by several member states of the EU. We work in close cooperation with the European institutions, and we provide training services. We have one of our units, which is the public management unit, and that's where CAF falls into. Okay, so the role of the European CAF Resource Center. Let me just begin, first of all, to give you all a general overview of what the CAF Resource Center is and what we do. So CAF has been initiated by the European Public Administration Network in 1998, and the CAF Resource Center at AIPA was established in the year 2000 following a decision of the Director Generals of the EUPAN. So since the year 2000, the European CAF Resource Center at AIPA has been working in close cooperations with the countries that want to implement the CAF. And let me also say that we are very, very excited and thrilled that you also would like to establish a national CAF Resource Center. What is our role? What is our mission? This is also visible on our website, and I will share with you some links and some of the important links and email addresses that you can find. Right, our mission is to be a center of expertise in CAF implementation and in the promotion of the CAF, and most of all in the good practices of its use in public administration across the EU. We have a database with all of the CAF users that have signed up to it. As of today, we have roughly 4,000. And I think this is very beneficial for you to access, because what you can do in there, you can find best practices and you can see how other countries are doing with CAF and how they can help you with CAF. And you can obviously get ideas from it, especially for what concerns your own implementation of the CAF. We also act as a complement to and in coordination with the existing national CAF resource centers. So we work in cooperation, for example, with the CAF National Resource Center of Austria or of all the other countries. We have around 24 CAF National Resource Centers across the European Union, and among these there are CAF national correspondents and CAF experts. We are a training and consultancy center. We carry out research on the use of the model. We support and simulate the European network of national CAF contacts and correspondents and CAF users. And we also maintain the database that I just told you about. This is us. We are 3 people working on CAF ATEPA. Gracia Vara Ribas, who is the head of the European CAF Resource Center. And there is myself, Fabricio Rossi. You can find my email address there. And then there is my colleague Elena, whom I think is among the participants. She's actually participating in this conference as well. You can all reach us at our own email addresses that you can find there. This is our website. This is basically the CAF EPA website, which explains to you what is CAF, how CAF can help you. It talks you through the common assessment framework, its criteria, its enablers criteria, and the results criteria. It also talks about the aim of total quality management tools and where CAF fits into those. And it has a clear overview of the CAF 2020. There is a couple of tabs in there which are important. Access the CAF database, where you can find all of the best practices that I just told you about, or there is the CAF correspondents and experts contact list that you can also find in there. You will see here under this what is CAF little text and video, you will find the number of registered users, the countries and institutions that are using the CAF, and the number of the effective user labels. The effective CAF user labels are those labels that are given to organizations that have applied the CAF, that have implemented it, and that have demonstrated that they are great CAF users. This is the database as you will see it. Some best practices I've put here on this photograph on the left-hand side, whereas on the picture on the right-hand side, right bottom corner, you have a search option on how to find good practices for CAF. The CAF self-assessment results. This is an important page, especially for you if you'd like to read it, because what you can find in here, you can find self-assessment results. So how does this work? You will have organizations that since the year 2005 to the year 2020 have done the self-assessment with the CAF, so have used the CAF questionnaire and have self-assessed their organization with CAF. And you will find those results divided by year and by language. And you have results for each year up until 2020. Why am I telling you this? This is important because when you're starting to use the CAF, you will probably also learn a lot by bench learning and by best practices. So by sharing practices among our CAF networks, this is how the CAF users learn how to better use the model. So this is particularly important for you that are just beginning with the CAF. The European CAF Resource Center and the European CAF Network. I've just left here a little bit of the CAF structure as it is found on the as it is found in the KDZ book that I've also helped write a chapter with Philip, who spoke before. It is rather confusing, I would say, the first time somebody sees it. However, if you just if somebody tells it to you, if somebody teaches it to you, it's not that difficult. So you have the European Public Administration Network, which is part of the ministries of public administration in the EU member states, of the European Commission, and of the observers. The director generals or the ministers are part of the EUPA network at the DG level. Then you have the working level, which is like the mid-level managers, and the CAF is part of this whole network. This is where the CAF EU network actually falls into, with the European Institute of Public Administration, which is us, the CAF expert groups, the National Correspondence Network, which is made of the member states, and the experts that are found in every country. At the bottom down here, you will find the external feedback procedure that I just told you about, and the CAF experts or external feedback actors, which are those actors that assess an organization that has just started using the CAF. Now, what I would really like to leave you with is, number one, how we work as a CAF network, and I hope to be able to invite you as observer. And so I'd like to talk you through how the CAF 2020 was developed and published. And after this, I would also like to show you some numbers and some ideas on how APA has helped countries that were just beginning to use the CAF. So how we can help you as a new CAF National Resource Center, and how we can help you establish a CAF Resource Center, and how we can help you spread the CAF among your public sector organizations. I will do this by showing you some examples of training activities that we have conducted over the years, and I will show you how we have helped organizations, especially in the case of Bulgaria. Having said that, this was the road towards the CAF 2020. As you can see, there is a constant cooperation among the past presidencies of the EU. You will find them all here, but there is also some other countries such as Belgium and Italy that have not had a presidency of the EU in 2018 and 2019, but that have nevertheless played an important role in the revision of the CAF 2020. So the road to CAF 2020 began in Estonia, in the Estonian presidency in Tallinn at the end of 2017. It then moved to the Bulgarian presidency in the first 6 months of 2018. Bulgaria has organized a CAF users event where all of the CAF users joined together and shared their best practices. Belgium in July 2018, even though they did not have a presidency, they believed so much in the CAF and they're so great CAF users that they decided to organize a meeting in Brussels. However, it was also helped by the organization of Austria, who had just taken up the presidency in June 2018. In October 2018, in Vienna in Austria for the presidency, the EU CAF network got together in order to start working on the CAF 2020. This then moved to the first 6 months of 2019 with Romania. We had a meeting in Romania in May 2019 where we actually started the finalization of the new version of the CAF 2020. Italy then organized a meeting in July 2019, and the whole work of CAF 2020 was completed in November 2019 in Finland during the Finnish presidency, and it was approved by the director generals of the EU. So this is a little bit how the CAF network actually works. You have presidencies, member states, CAF correspondents, they all come together, they share their knowledge on the CAF model, they share their best practices for total quality management tools, and they then come to agreements. And this is basically the spirit of the CAF and of the CAF 2020. And as I said, we also have observers, which are outsider to the European Union, but they're also part of our network and that contribute to the CAF. And I really do hope that Ukraine can become one of these countries. Now, as I said, I would like to talk you through a little bit how we can establish a national CAF resource center and how can we train the future CAF coaches. We have had hundreds of CAF trainings, hundreds of CAF experts around the EU and beyond. We have a pool of experts at EIPA which are external, but that they speak several languages of the EU, and they come from several EU countries. We have an ongoing call for CAF experts that we then ask to provide CAF trainings, CAF training courses across the EU. Over the years, we have practically welcomed, I was actually reading our numbers yesterday, and we have practically welcomed thousands of participants to our training courses on the CAF, starting from the year 2005 or so until recent years. And this is how we also help EU member states establish a CAF Resource Center. I will also show you after this presentation a quick document that I think you should have, which is found on the UPAN website and is called CAF Guideline Documents, but I will show this to you later. So how do we actually do training for CAF coaches? So we help train the CAF trainers in order to grow the number of CAF users in their country and to help them implement the CAF. The courses that were held in the past saw nearly 80 future CAF coaches attending our training courses. A CAF training for future CAF coaches is organized in several days. It can be divided in different parts. Normally, it is divided in 3 different parts and is spanned over 6 days. So it's 2 days per part of the CAF training. However, it's not 6 continuous days. It's normally 2 days for the first part, then there is tasks and there is follow-ups to be done by the participants, then there is a second part, and then there is a third part. So it's spread across a couple of months or even longer perhaps. What do we do? The objectives of these training courses for CAF coaches. We basically help public sector organizations in applying the CAF and in having a clear understanding. There are 5 points that I'd like to stress here. Number 1 is the CAF 2020 model itself. So the training goes over the CAF 2020 model, the scoring system, and the self-assessment process. We help you and show you how to implement the CAF 2020 across its 9 criteria and 28 sub-criteria. We show you how to use the CAF for self-assessment and for formulating improvement actions. This is an important bridge, point number 3, because it's not only self-assessment, but it's also improvement actions. We show you how to prioritize improvement actions on a short, medium, and long-term basis. So we actually try to do that for your organizations. And we show you how to play your role as a coach. All of this is done through making self-assessment procedures, formulating smart actions, examples of different steps, roles, tasks, and skills across an organization. And also all of this is actually done in a way that the participants are able to present the CAF to their management team. Because we do understand at EIPA, but also across the whole EU CAF network, that it is very, very important that the CAF team can also pass the word and communicate with the management team and convince the management team that using the CAF is the way forward. Last but not least, before we dive in quickly into the CAF guideline documents, this is a EIPA conversation recording that we have done. There is a YouTube link down here. I will share the presentation with Yulia and with the organizer of this meeting so that you can have a look at it. Nick Tice, who was one of the EIPA CAF experts in the past and is now working at the OECD, Sigma. He works a lot with Eastern Europe and the Balkan countries. We had Barbara Zupank, who is the head of quality unit in the Slovenian Ministry of Public Administration. She is the organizer of a very large conference, a public sector organization organized in cooperation with EIPA, with the OECD, and with the Slovenian presidency in the second half of 2021. And in this recorded conference, you will also find Cristina Evaristo, who is the CAF correspondent. You will just find it there. The conference was just recorded on May the 6th, so it's rather a short time ago. Thank you very much for your attention. As I said before, the slides are available to share. I will share them with you, with Yulia. I wanted to just show you quickly one thing that you might find useful, which is the CAF guideline documents for implementing the CAF, which was made by the Croatian presidency, the CAF network, with the support of EIPA last year. This is foundable in the UPAN website and goes across several domains. I will just share my screen with this other document with you quickly. You should be able to see now. The table of contents is very important. This is the guideline documents, guidelines for implementing the CAF and for helping young countries to start with CAF. As I said, the European CAF Resource Center at TEPA, the Croatian presidency, and the EU CAF Network together have made this document. And you will probably find very useful the fact that there are several domains for implementing CAF and for helping a country to start with the CAF and with the CAF journey. There is domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So please have a look at this document, read it, contact us at TEPA. We hope to be able to collaborate with you, and I will share this presentation with the organizers. Thank you very much.
Пане Фабріціо,
Fabricio, it's impressive, and thank you for sharing your experience. And it is very important for us. Even I would like to ask you to send this link to us in our chat, but I saw that you published it officially. Maybe just to simplify our research activities, you can send it to us as this reference into the chat for our participants today. And thank you, and I hope that we will continue further with your center, and this information for us is very valuable for us as well. And dear colleagues, now I would like to shift to our next presenter, and with the greatest pleasure, I give the floor to Witold Stelmanski, main expert of the Department of Civil Service of the Chancellery of the Prime Minister of Poland. The Chancellery of Prime Minister of Poland actively cooperates with us on state service reformation within twinning, and namely with support of offices from Chancellery. In 2013, we prepared a guideline on self-estimation manual, and so we have a cooperation, we have ties, and I would like now to present your achievements and share with us your best practices. Welcome, please, Witold. You're welcome.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Yes, please. Raise your hand. Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Witold, yes.
Okay, because I think I have some problems, so please let me join from the other device. It will take a second, okay? Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, can you see the presentation? Excuse me, can you confirm? Did you see my presentation?
No.
Unfortunately, we don't see the presentation on the screen. So, dear colleagues, we have the proposal while Mr. Witold Stelmacki doing something for sharing the screen. Let us provide him the opportunity to finish the setup, and then we can ask the head of the Solidarity Fund of Poland to say a few words, because this Poland's Fund of International Solidarity was established by Republic of Poland, and it's under the support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Poland. And this fund is doing a lot in the cooperation between other countries. And what we have in common in Ukraine, this fund is active since the year 2012, and that's the self-governance support, the reform of decentralizations, and amalgamated communities activity. This is under the activity of this fund. So all the main projects which are realized for the last 2 years, they were devoted to decentralization of education, social services, and neurointegration information. And so we kindly ask Mr. Pavel just join us, and then Witold will get this chance to continue his presentation a little bit later.
Of course, thank you.
Дякую. So, well, our fund is the fund of the state Chancellery of Republic of Poland. And then I would like just, to say a few words just to explain. So we have the main 4 directions of our activity. The first is a kind of a program of social service. The program partners are the Ministry of Social Policy of Ukraine, and also we do have the territorial communities, also they are partners of us. And the second direction is to support the reform of the educational system of Ukraine. The third is the civil service protection, and the fourth is also connected with the CAF instruments. It's the direction of our operations, the fourth. Within the social services, we're working in Ukraine since 2019. And since 2018, and since 2018 we started, but since 2019 we started to implement the CAF elements on the level of providing the services, social services for the territorial communities. And we do have the main expert with us, Mr. Miroslav Ochak, and he's a developer of this matrix, which adapted of the system CAF to the Ukrainian reality, especially to the system of providing the social services. Now I would like to give a word to Mr. Miroslav, just to ask him to share on a very professional level of the best results of our work. And it's extremely interesting. And from my side, I would like to add, coming from Mr. Barza started to share, I want to add that not only CAF is also inspiring, but also Ukrainian communities are very interesting to work with them. So they inspiring us. It's a very efficient and very progressive to work with them. So let me pass the word to Mr. Yaroslav, and I hope to get with you to listen to him very attentively, and especially the results of our common work. So, well, especially social services, just using the elements of CAF.
Dzień dobry Państwu. Tak jak Pan Paweł był uprzejmy powiedzieć, nasza praca z gromadami w obszarze samooceny rozpoczęła się w 2000.
We started our work in the year 2018, and we got these initiatives of our foundations. It was just hard, so it was too demanding, and it was very special to the clients, and it was a kind of implementations of the CAF methods. It was just extremely important for that moment, and in the context of a really importance of cooperation with the different communities, and especially for the last 4 years, it was a kind of a great idea to to communicate with them. And that's very interesting to work with the amalgamated territorial communities and to work with other institutions. So it's a kind of a very important for the sustainable development of the communities, etc. So we use the best principles just to apply all these things. CAF 2006, we use this, and it was a kind of transferred into the Ukrainian reality, and we applied this main principles of CAF 2006 for the main principles. So as for the situations, the tasks we got was quite successful. We organized and we reached the tasks just okay. So we got a lot of nice tasks, and we were coordinating them on the regional level or the level of oblast level or whatever. So, and it was just in the very beginning, it was just hard, but it was a kind of an impression and expectation that it's a very correct movement. And it's very important to understand that this is economically interesting an approach. We have to provide the good quality, the accessibility to the services. And it was very interesting for the citizens to use all the ideas, to mobilize all that ideas to be implemented. So we have to implement all the important principles the correct way. We had really the certain kind of problems based on financial support, etc., but we passed it successfully. The model CAF, as it is, it's just to implement the main unique complex. It's a kind of a complex of evaluation of the situation. What does it mean? It just to evaluate and to apply all the experiences in our operational work. So the deficiency, we faced the deficiency of some specific tools, how to deal with this. The first of all, it was the very hard idea to identify the needs, what to focus on, or maybe to deal with the operational personnel and to upgrade the activities. So, well, we came to the conclusion that the needs were quite important regarding the improvement of the structuralization of the organizations, how to work the best way. And it was not like smoothly understand. I'd rather say just to understand how to set up this organization the best way. And the tasks, we had a lot. So there was a lot of things to further processing and implementation of the ideas, to use the practical knowledges and to understand how to involve all the participants of the projects to be actively involved. It's the changes in the what we call the understanding of our general tasks. That's the very important things, to understand the general tasks. And so it was very important thing to use all the above mentioned criteria. And for example, for the year 2000, in the year 2018, we had one tasks, and then it was a kind of a very special so-called enforcement of the potentials. So Mr. Czerniachowski with other communities we just expanded the total understanding of the potentials. So the idea was just how to improve the principles, so working with this idea CAF. And improvement also came from the initiatives of the communities. And our Polish experience also was very important in the process of institutional developing, application and implementation of the main ideas and the Ukrainian reality using our achievements. And we used the model CAF for 2006, and it was just the beginning, and it was maybe too overloaded, but it was not absorbed to the reality for that moment. And then we had the idea to concentrate more onto the specific tasks, regarding the improvement of the operational approaches. It was quite interesting, and it was quite interesting to understand that from the point of view identification, it was just like very interesting to deal with. And we started to implement a lot of the ideas, and it was a kind of a correlation between different ideas. So the idea was just to go with the needs, with the demands, and to cover all the demands.
kolejnych 3 obwodach przeprowadziliśmy pełną samoocenę, a więc zarówno w obszarze wyników, jak i potencjału. I tutaj już w możliwie szerokim zakresie stworzone zostały plany doskonalenia.
Just the main idea says that the idea was just to improve all that ideas and to correlate with this needs. And it was also obvious to understand that the model is concentrated, independent, and it's connected with the institutional needs. And it's also connected with the ideas of improvement of these approaches for further implementation. So, well, and it's very important to understand the activities and the wide range of implemented activities regarding these needs. So, well, it's a kind of a very important things for self-organization of these tasks.
Polskich doświadczeń w momencie, kiedy były pierwsze samooceny w 2000 latach prowadzone w Polsce, również ta kwestia nie tylko przetłumaczenia pytań modelu całego na język polski była wyzwaniem, ponieważ pewne zrozumienie nie było w pełni doskonałe, ale również objaśnienie tego, pokazanie przykładów, przeniesienie modelu na grunt innego kraju również powinno uwzględniać kontekst kulturowy na przykład. I to, co jest również interesujące, to zastosowanie modelu pokazało nam pewne niedoskonałości prawa, a więc to, że widać było, że organizacja mogłaby działać pewne niedoskonałości prawa, na przykład polegające na tym, że prawo nie do końca nadąża za chodzi o obszary, obszar zarządzania strategicznego.
Well, coming back to this understanding of this criteria, that's a great potential to use this best criteria just to organize it the best way. And well, we need to have the important things, tools for this, for having this applications requests to be satisfied. So we have to do it on the level of the administration just to deal with this best approaches and it's really important just to mention that we have the great achievements together with Ukraine we reached in these very fields of CAF implementation. And it's a kind of a complex approach and the complex understanding. So implementation, these principles for the Ukrainian market is also very important. So we have to improve these principles and I think we have to improve it and continue to work it out. We have to use the competencies. We have to apply this above-mentioned competencies for the further actual implementations just to get the best results to get. It's interesting, and the value of this is just to show the potentials we have, just how to use this potential, which is very important. So we have to use the good practice and the good experience practices of Ukraine also.
Jeżeli chodzi o takie ogólne może wnioski, to tutaj już było
If you hope to have the very important input, so you have to follow with the instructions, and we have to understand that, like previous speaker says, that CAF is first of all, it's changes. This is the first, what we have to understand, that this is the management of changes, and it's the management of changes should be applied. And again, let me say more. It says for model of CAF 2020, then I want to say that that's elasticity and importance also should connect it with the ability of the organizations. It's very important to understand how to use it and how to pay your attention on the so-called transformation of organization into the real active state managerial activity, and we should not have the specific deficiency in qualified staff also. It should be very important. So we have to accept all these principles of competencies. We have to be very respectful and then very attentive to all the informational processes. It's digitalization, transformation processes, which is all in complex. So then processes which are under the transformations and digitalizations is also connected to this development, and we should accept all the competences also as the main tool. We have to respect and accept all this demands of digitalization in the social in the society. So I want to express special thanks for all of the participants to listen to my speech. Thank you so much, and I hope for the further cooperation between Poland and Ukraine further on and in the fields of CAF. And I think that methods of CAF will be successfully applied in Ukraine. And I want to highlight that it's important to be involved into these changes, and participation and active participation is very important in making the steps of changes. And it's very important, and it's not only for the central administration, or it's also very important for the lowest level. Thank you so much. So from my side, I would like to say thank you so much for your speech, Mr. Miroslav, and I am very thankful for Mr. Paul to listen the experience of Poland. And for us, it's very important to say that we are a side. We just, not for self-government's institutional activity only. We're just paying a lot of attention to this very activity. And especially, we're just also involving into the draft law.
Національне агентство займається не лише державною службою, а так само надає методологічну і консультативну допомогу і органам місцевого самоврядування.
So we are doing.
В цьому контексті нам буде надзвичайно важливим цей досвід, адже ми супроводжуємо і взаємодіємо із органами місцевого самоврядування, дотичні до етапів децентралізації були. Тому я думаю,
we were involved in these activities, and I think that many times we will contact you, and we will take your initiatives, we borrow them and cooperate with you in the future. And in my turn, I would like to invite Witold, if you overcame the technical problem, so it's perfect. Thank you, and please, you have the floor, Witold.
Hello, now you can hear me. I hope yes.
So I'm using 3 different devices, so I'm sorry if I would turn my head from one to the other, but I will try to do my best to express myself properly. So good morning, everyone. My name is Witold Stelmaski. I represent the Civil Service Department of the Chancellor of the Prime Minister of Poland. I'm a member of the team of International Cooperation and Ethics. And today I would like to present, as a good practice in the field of CAF, of course, the cooperation between the Chancellor of the Prime Minister and the National Institute for Local Government. So in Poland, there are 2 different institutions involved in CAF promotion and implementation. These are the Civil Service Department of the Chancellor of the Prime Minister and the National Institute for Local Self-Government. These institutions work together and complement each other. Here we have the structure, because regarding the structure of CAF in Poland, there is no one CAF Resource Center. Civil Service Department plays the role of CAF national correspondent, while the National Institute for Local Self-Government act as CAF national organizer for local government units. Here we can see the responsibilities of the Civil Service Department, among which the main is to promote the CAF in the whole public sector in Poland, of course with particular reference to the civil service. And here are the most important tasks of the National Institute for Local Self-Government, which include the promotion of the CAF among local government units, but the Institute is also responsible for coordinating the work of the CAF experts network and for the procedure for external feedback, which is available only among local authorities. The National Institute for Local Government was established in 2015 as a unit under the Ministry of Interior Administration. And the aim of the Institute is to carry out tasks for the development of local government and raises its operational standards. Moreover, it conducts research and analysis of local self-government. And since 2015, it has also played the role of the National CAF Coordinator for Local Government Units. And in the beginning, the main responsibility of the Institute was the procedure of external feedback for local government units. And it was the moment that 2015, the moment when our cooperation began. Of course, it is the Institute who is responsible for PEF, but the Civil Service Department is also an active actor in this field, because the national correspondent participates in the procedure, recommending the attestation. I think it is worth mentioning that last year, so 2020, due to the pandemic, together with the Institute, we prepared and conducted online the procedure for external feedback. And it was made for the first time in Poland and one of the first in Europe, as I know. We also collaborate by exchanging knowledge on the national and international level. For example, the National Institute for Local Government is the only one responsible for the coordination of the CAF National Expert Network. But the CAF national correspondent participates also in the meetings of the expert network, sharing, for example, information and documents. The other example of this collaboration is that last year, together with the Institute, we translated the CAF 2020 brochure into Polish language. Also, we as the Civil Service Department with the Institute of National Self-Government, we collaborate in trainings. And at the end of last year, the Institute organized an online training on CAF for local government units. And the Institute also invited us, so the government administration employees, to this training. So as a result, 330 government employees were trained for free, just because of this collaboration between us and the Institute. And last but not least, we also collaborate on various joint initiatives. First of all, we work together on CAF promotion in Poland. This is like our common main responsibility. And the CAF promotion in Poland is the main responsibility, of course, of the Civil Service Department, but the Institute is in constant contact with local government units. So it is through the institutes that we provide these units with information. Information, of course, in some documents, researches, database. Second example, in 2017, together with the Institute, we prepared a quality conference for sharing best practices. Next thing, in the years 2018 and 2020, we closely cooperated with the Institute on CAF update. And actually, we prepared in close cooperation with the Institute the survey on CAF knowledge, on CAF, and this survey started on Monday, and we will collect data till the end of this month. It is the survey which is directed to all public sector institutions, and we want to get back some data from those institutions that will let us design the Polish CAF user database and develop the list of CAF information needs, because this survey consists of two parts. The first part is to find out which organizations are current CAF users and which organization would like to implement CAF. And the second part of this survey is to find out what are the needs of those institutions toward CAF. I mean, the needs, for example, they need some training or some information of how we, as the national coordinator, can help them to implement CAF. So I think this is the main part of our coordination with National Institute for Self-Government. And thank you very much for your attention. Here you have my details to contact me. Of course, you can send me an email or just call me. Thank you very much.
Witold, in our turn, we thank you for your presentation, your speech, and message, and your work, because it is also for us, it's a specific asset, and I hope we will get your presentation as well. And later, I think that following what was said today, and very interesting stresses were made not only in the public sector, but on the level of consulting, and what I was interested in and individually. So this assessment will be interesting for us because every year, in the beginning of October, we start trainings for the staff and evaluating KPIs and prepare for assessment of public servants. But please pay attention that everything, these are the assets which will be used already. And I think that together with Mr. Philip Parser and Mr. Parser, your presentation was impressive and very good, interesting content. I think that everyone will be willing to share the presentations, and you notice maybe that we had the video recording and we had the broadcasting on YouTube, and we are not limited to the number of participants in Zoom. Also, we have a video to cover bigger number of public servants in Ukraine, especially in the context of methods of evaluation of CAF. And if you have any questions, please come to our second or last finalizing part, where we need to make conclusions on today's meeting. Dear colleagues, maybe we can ask questions to our speakers. Miroslav is with us, Fabricio Rossi is with us, and Mr. Patzer and Mr. Witold. Why I'm saying this, and I'm drawing attention of our European colleagues, maybe we will not have such easy opportunity to discuss all this without other preparation. Next time it will be in some other circumstances, but as for our colleagues and our achievements, the Center of Adaptation is always online, where you can get consultations on individually and on public bodies, and the methodology is also uploaded on the website from Center of Adaptation and the Agency of Ukraine for Civil Service. Dear colleagues, maybe you have questions, maybe to me, so please, I'm ready to give you answers to your questions. So from my side, until they are born, the questions, I would like to say the following. In September, it's like an insight I will announce now. I would like to introduce one of the panels on our traditional Richelieu Forum, which is held. It will be for the 11th time annual forum, who involves representatives from European Commissions, from Sigma program, and the majority of our European partners. That is the forum which witnesses all our achievements and innovations, and I propose what was done today. Our speakers, please be attentive that this panel will be there this year, and also we will devote it to our activity, especially the quality management and the introduction of common assessment framework at CAF, and maybe we will have another other practice which will be born. I don't see questions, and I understand that we need to to understand this concept, and the colleagues, you will share your presentations and you will send it to the Center of Adaptation. And on my side, I would propose to close our today's international seminar, and I will thank everyone who presented.
So we're very thankful for everyone who participated today, those who are just, eager to share with your experience, because you're representatives of your countries. And so, well, in fact, we were sharing about our achievements. And I would like to express special thanks to my colleagues, because you paid a lot of attention to understand this material and to get ready to understand the different project legal drafts, etc. So we'll understand the methods, how to apply these methods and how to apply it in the state agencies. So dear colleagues, we are closing our cooperation for today, and I'm very thankful that you are with us, and we will continue to work together. It will be online webinars, it will be specific online training, and we will be specially devoted to the specific aspects, elements of the evaluation system. And dear colleagues, we are closing this seminar. Thank you so much for your participation, for your ability to be with us. And till next time, and goodbye. Have a nice day, and see you next time. Thank you.